In the world of hip-hop, every crew has its moment in time. From legendary groups like the Juice Crew and Def Squad to iconic collectives like the Wu-Tang Clan, each major rap crew leaves its mark on the genre. From 2002 to 2005, one crew reigned supreme and carved their place in history: the mighty G-Unit. Led by the charismatic 50 Cent, G-Unit, comprised of 50 Cent, Lloyd Banks, and Tony Yayo, captured the essence of the streets with their mixtape classic, 50 Cent is the Future. This video explores the rise, dominance, and eventual unraveling of G-Unit during their era of hip-hop supremacy. The fusion of G-Unit and how they climbed to the top. The G-Unit era began with the release of the seminal mixtape, 50 Cent is the Future. Led by 50 Cent's captivating personality, bully mentality, infectious hooks, and aggressive verses, G-Unit quickly became a force to be reckoned with in the hip-hop landscape. Their unmistakable G-G-G-G-G-G unit catchphrase echoed through the streets, with cars in every borough bumping their music. G-Unit! While 50 Cent served as the crew's leader and most visible member, it was Lloyd Banks who emerged as the true MVP of the three-man squad. Banks, with his monotone voice, punchline-heavy lyrics, and sharp wit, solidified his position as the lyrical powerhouse of G-Unit. Tony Yayo, though not as prominent, contributed his energy and hype to the crew, adding another layer to their dynamic. After 50 Cent inked a groundbreaking deal with Shady Aftermath, Interscope, G-Unit wasted no time in asserting their dominance. They became active participants in the XXL versus The Source rivalry, which had been brewing for some time. Their involvement intensified the competition between the two magazines, ultimately fueled by the ongoing tensions between Eminem and Benzino. G-Unit also engaged in a highly publicized feud with Murder Inc., particularly with Ja Rule, further solidifying their reputation as a force to be reckoned with. With the release of follow-up mixtapes such as No Mercy, No Fear and God's Plan, G-Unit continued to feed the streets while building anticipation for 50 Cent's highly anticipated album, Get Rich or Die Tryin'. Expansion and challenges. As the release date for Get Rich or Die Tryin' drew near, G-Unit expanded their lineup by welcoming young Buck into the fold. Buck, hailing from Nashville, Tennessee, had previously worked with Cash Money Records and had affiliations with Juvenile's UTP Record Squad. With his brash lyricism, aggressive style, and distinctive Southern twang, Buck brought a fresh element to G-Unit, further solidifying their reputation as a dominant collective. However, just as G-Unit seemed poised for a takeover, they faced a significant setback when Tony Yayo encountered legal troubles and was sentenced to jail. This unfortunate event gave rise to the Free Yayo campaign, which only served to elevate Yayo's name and increase public awareness. Despite Yayo's absence, G-Unit persevered as a three-man powerhouse consisting of 50 Cent, Lloyd Banks, and Young Buck. Total domination and solo ventures with the release of Get Rich or Die Tryin', which sold a staggering 1.7 million copies within its first 11 days, 50 Cent solidified his position in hip-hop history. G-Unit's next move was nothing short of total domination. Recognizing the importance of staying connected to their street roots, 50 Cent initiated the G-Unit Radio Mixtape series. These mixtapes, featuring vocal drops from influential figures such as LeBron James, Dave Chappelle, and Snoop Dogg, became an instant hit, keeping the crew's presence alive and thriving. Lloyd Banks, not to be outdone, launched his own successful mixtape series titled Money in the Bank. Banks's lyrical prowess and captivating style left fans eagerly anticipating his solo album. Young Buck continued to solidify his position within G-Unit through his verses on the G-Unit radio tapes. However, it was his standout performances on the crew's debut album, Beg for Mercy, that truly showcased his talent. Songs like Footprints, his solo track, Salute You, and My Buddy propelled Buck into the spotlight, generating demand for his solo endeavors. During this period, 50 Cent made yet another expansion to the crew, bringing a West Coast MC simply known as The Game into the fold, once again making G-Unit a four-man collective. What makes Young Buck leave G-Unit? The rise and fall of Young Buck within the band and the G-Unit crew was a roller coaster ride that left everyone astonished. To make matters worse, when the opportunity arose to present our songs to MTV, Young Buck found himself completely excluded from the process. Frustrated by his sidelining, Young Buck chose to address the issue head-on in an interview. He wanted to clarify that his intentions were never to betray 50 Cent's trust or show disloyalty. In fact, he had attempted to reach out to 50 Cent directly to discuss his concerns, but had been unsuccessful in getting through. Faced with this communication barrier, Young Buck decided it was time to make his thoughts public, firmly believing that 50 Cent would eventually reach out to him. What was fascinating was Young Buck's unwavering belief in a shared understanding within our crew. It extended far beyond his relationship with 50 Cent. It encompassed the entire G-Unit family. He explained that each member faced their own personal challenges and handled them in unique ways. For Young Buck, speaking out was a way of releasing pent-up frustrations, an act of self-expression that he felt necessary. Loyalty remained at the core of his actions. He saw it as an opportunity to strengthen the bond rather than betray it. True to his expectations, 50 Cent did make contact, reaching out through Young Buck's manager to arrange a conversation. However, to everyone's surprise, in a subsequent interview, 50 Cent dropped a bombshell. He declared that Young Buck was no longer a member of G-Unit. Criticizing his behavior, 50 Cent pointed out inconsistencies and claimed that it went against Young Buck's character. It was a shocking revelation that left the entire crew in disbelief. Adding fuel to the fire, 50 Cent leaked a private conversation he had with Young Buck. The recording exposed a vulnerable side of Young Buck, as he could be heard crying and expressing his deep desire to return to the way things were before. It was a heartbreaking moment, highlighting the emotional toll this situation had taken on him. Amidst the chaos, Young Buck unveiled a startling truth about his career. Throughout his entire time in the industry, he had never received a single royalty check. He relied solely on income from his performances, shining a light on the financial struggles he had silently endured. As tensions reached their peak, Young Buck decided to unleash his frustration through music. He released a diss track against 50 Cent, using his lyrical prowess to express his grievances and seek closure. All these events unfolded in the year 2008, forever leaving a mark on the band's history. The journey of Young Buck within G-Unit serves as a poignant reminder of the complexities of relationships, the power of miscommunication, and the unyielding pursuit of self-expression in the face of adversity. Solo successes and struggles with the massive commercial success of Get Rich or Die Tryin', selling 14 million copies worldwide, 9 million in the US, and Beg for Mercy, selling 6 million worldwide, 3 million in the US. Questions arose about the viability of solo albums from Banks, Buck, Yayo, and The Game. These questions were put to the test when Lloyd Banks released his debut solo album, The Hunger for More, in June 2004. The album debuted at #1 and has since achieved nearly triple platinum status in the US, proving that G-Unit possessed longevity beyond their group efforts. As Lloyd Banks' solo album hit the top of the charts, Tony Yayo was released from jail, further boosting G-Unit's momentum. The crew found themselves headlining major events like Summer Jam and gracing the covers of XXL magazine. With a victory over their beefs with Murder Inc. and their associates, G-Unit was at the pinnacle of success. The whole five-man collective, including 50 Cent, Lloyd Banks, Young Buck, Tony Yayo, and The Game, seemed unstoppable. Their records were selling in the millions, and the streets were fully behind them. However, the downfall of G-Unit came from within, internal conflicts and unraveling. As 50 Cent's success soared, he began to let it go to his head. G-Unit started distancing themselves from collaborations and isolating themselves from other artists in the industry. They treated the industry like the block, fostering conflicts rather than collaboration. A notable incident occurred at the 2004 Summer Jam, where rumors spread that G-Unit was no longer welcome on the stage. During the event, 50 Cent infamously yelled out, "Fuck the hood," igniting a backlash against him. While G-Unit still enjoyed support from the streets, 50 Cent's confrontational attitude started alienating his hardcore fans. He engaged in feuds with artists like Jadakiss and Nas, further straining his relationship with both the industry and the public. Young Buck's solo album, Straight Outta Cashville, managed to achieve double platinum status despite the growing animosity towards 50 Cent. Meanwhile, The Game, initially seen as a secondary member of G-Unit, began to establish himself as a solo artist. A beef with Joe Budden and endorsements from West Coast legends such as Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, and Ice Cube propelled The Game into the spotlight. His debut solo album, The documentary, released in January 2005, sold over 500,000 copies in its first week. The album's success further solidified G-Unit's dominance, but it also revealed underlying tensions within the crew. Rumors persisted about conflicts between 50 Cent and The Game, which ultimately led to The Game's expulsion from G-Unit. A shooting incident, followed by a staged press conference to address the beef, further strained the crew's unity. From that point forward, nothing would ever be the same for G-Unit. Yayo's solo album, Thoughts of a Predicate Felon, was released in August 2005. The album dropped on the same day as 50 Cent's highly anticipated album, The Massacre. Although Yayo's album achieved moderate success, the unity and cohesiveness of G-Unit had unraveled. Lloyd Banks's leaving everything behind. The departure of Lloyd Banks from the group marked a significant turning point. 50 Cent in particular expressed his discontent with Lloyd Banks. It stemmed from a photograph that surfaced featuring Lloyd Banks alongside The Game, sparking confusion and uncertainty. Looking at that picture, it was evident that a sense of bewilderment lingered. Personally, as a Cancer, I preferred to avoid trouble, but I didn't shy away from it either. I embraced my uniqueness. The real question wasn't about my perspective, but rather how Lloyd Banks felt about the situation. Some things are better left untouched, left alone. It was on February 1st, 2018, when 50 Cent, in his single Crazy featuring PNB Rock, revealed that he and Lloyd Banks were no longer on speaking terms. The rift between them had grown wider. As time went on, in June, both Lloyd Banks and 50 Cent made an announcement. Lloyd Banks was departing from the group and the label. The underlying issue remained elusive, as even during conversations it was impossible to discern the exact source of their problems. It was as if they harbored some internal resentments, generating a strained relationship that extended beyond what I could comprehend. It reminded me of the complicated dynamics between myself and Marquis. They seemed to have developed a similar internal turmoil, fueling their resentment towards 50 Cent. And truth be told, it had reached a point where I no longer cared about the details. In 2019, tensions continued to rise as conflicts within the group escalated. The story took a different turn from there, entangled in a web of unresolved emotions and strained connections. In 2022, 50 Cent confirmed that the group had once again disbanded and stated that there would never be a reunion, citing disaffection with the other members. The legacy of G-Unit. The G-Unit era showcased an unprecedented run of success in the rap industry. With consecutive multi-platinum solo releases from 50 Cent, Lloyd Banks, Young Buck, and The Game, along with a highly acclaimed group album, G-Unit left an indelible mark on hip-hop history. However, their inability to maintain collaboration and their internal conflicts ultimately led to their decline. 50 Cent's confrontational approach and alienation of his hardcore fans, combined with the departure of key members and solo pursuits, weakened the crew's impact. Despite sporadic attempts to revive the G-Unit brand, they were unable to recapture the magic and dominance of their heyday. Nevertheless, G-Unit's legacy remains significant. Their commercial success, individual talents, and their ability to captivate the streets with their mixtapes and albums solidified their place in hip-hop history. The G-Unit era serves as a reminder of the fleeting nature of success in the music industry and the challenges that arise when egos and internal conflicts overshadow collective unity. In conclusion, the G-Unit era from 2002 to 2005 marked a period of unparalleled dominance in hip-hop. Led by 50 Cent, G-Unit became a force to be reckoned with, captivating the streets and delivering massive hits. The crew's success extended to their individual members, with Lloyd Banks, Young Buck, and The Game achieving remarkable solo accomplishments. However, internal conflicts and a lack of collaboration ultimately led to the unraveling of G-Unit. Despite their downfall, G-Unit's impact on the rap industry remains undeniable, and their era will forever be remembered as a significant chapter in the history of hip-hop.